Hey guys, I hope you had a good week. I thought I'd do a quick video about goal setting and why a lot of people fail miserably when they decide to set themselves goals. A lot of the people I speak to, whether it be clients or people that are just doing things like New Year's resolutions, fail because of the way that they go about setting the goal in the first place. I did a video around the Christmas period about the fact that a lot of people don't realize that they are unconscious 95% of the time, just running the patterns that they're used to running, and it's almost like they're not really there. There's no kind of conscious thought happening at all. It's just you get out of bed the same way and all the rest of it. So when you decide consciously all of a sudden, when you're having a moment of clarity, to set a goal, people tend to say things like, this year I'm going to try and give up smoking, or I'm going to try and not get as angry, or something like that. And there's a couple of things wrong with that. First of all, you've put the word try in it. Now, I don't know about you, but if someone says to me, yeah, I'll try and be there, are they going to come? Probably not, because the word try implies failure. It implies that you've got a get out clause. It implies that you're not fully committed to your goal. The other problem with those two sentences is that you're setting it in a negative way. Your brain doesn't know the difference between positive and negative. All it does is focus on the content of the sentence that you say. So if you're going to say, I'm going to try and stop smoking, all your brain is focusing on is smoking. So you're going to keep smoking. So you need to set it in the positive frame. So you need to be saying something like, this year I'm going to be healthy. There's no try in there. It's a definite, it's I'm going to be more healthy. And it's what you do want instead of what you don't want. The other problem that people have is that they don't get specific. So when I'm getting a client to set a goal, I want them to be as specific as possible. And the reason for that is exactly the same as what we were saying about before about being unconscious 95% of the time. If you say that I'm gonna try and do X, Y, or Z, there's no specificity in there. So in other words, you'll remember it when you're being conscious for a minute, but then for the rest of the time, you're gonna be unconscious and you're just not gonna follow through with any of that because your brain doesn't know when you're supposed to be doing it. So there's a part of your brain called the anterior cingulate. Okay, this is positioned somewhere between the prefrontal cortex and the limbic system. So it's kind of in between the two here. And the point of this is it's a bit like a receptionist. So if you imagine that this is the boss of the company, think a bit like a company. This bit down here is the, I don't know, the security guard or the fire marshal. And the bit in between then is the anterior cingulate or the receptionist. Now, in a similar way to in a company, the anterior cingulate's job is to have the most up-to-date information from all parts of the brain and to feed back and be like a PA to the boss. But if the boss is not giving that receptionist key and in very specific details about how he or she wants something to happen, then I'll give you an example. If your boss or a boss in a company said to the receptionist, organize the Christmas party or organize the summer party, what would the receptionist be like? They'd be like, I don't know, when are we allowed to have it? Who's allowed to come? Where are we going to be doing it? What's the details? And in a similar way, if you do not get specific and tell your anterior cingulate exactly what you're going to do, how you're going to go about it, what might get in the way, when are you going to do it, what time, get really specific about days, times, and really down to the point. That's when, so if the boss gives that kind of information to the receptionist, off she can go, or he can go. They will start organizing immediately and start making those calls and making it happen, following through with the goal that's set. So when you're setting goals, make sure that you are using the right language. Make sure that you're not using the word try or can't or things like that, because the word can't, again, we are evolutionary programmed to save energy. So your brain loves it when you say can't because it means it goes, oh great, I don't have to bother. So if you say you can't do something, in NLP we say whether you say you can or you can't, you're probably right because your brain is listening and it will actually, when we talked about the reticular activating system, it's listening and it will go, okay, I'm going to make that true for you and you're not going to be able to do that. So choose your words carefully. Get really specific and frame it in the positive tense and give that specificity to your anterior cingulate, and there is more chance that you will follow through with your goals because you'll know when you're going to be doing it, why you're going to be doing it, how you're going to be doing it, making sure that you eliminate all of the things that might get in your way, and you've got much more chance of following through and succeeding with your goals this year. I hope that's been helpful. Have a good weekend.